Hi, I'm Panda, and this is an inside look into the making of my debut album, Pandemonium. Gray skies is definitely my favorite weather, no question. When it's just gray and nice and cool outside and not necessarily raining, but just the sky isn't all blue and sunny and bright. For some reason in my head, I always see everything else is more colorful when the sky is gray. So it's definitely my favorite weather. And I wanted to make a song that helped, that was the whole imagery behind it. It's like it puts you in that space, it puts you in the gray sky space. But when it comes to the song, I just wanted to make that auditory representation of my favorite weather. It's pretty simple, but it means a lot to me, so that's why that came out of my head for the album. My senior year, my concert band at school, we took a trip to Seattle. I had never been there before, and I'd never really seen anything like Seattle. That was so different and so interesting, and I had a great time. And seeing how different that was, it was just something I'll never forget. But I won't forget the weather, that it was always gray, and it definitely followed the stereotype. It's the complete opposite of Vegas, so it was so different. I actually felt like I was on a different world, and the whole time I was like, I gotta make something that brings me back to this place and can bring any of my listeners to that place too. The production process for Gray Skies was similar to Lost Kid in that I found a sound online, that guitar sound you hear. It's really simple, and I'd love to meet whoever made that guitar sound one day. That was really cool. Gray Skies was also another simple track. I tried to not do too much, because in lo-fi they like keeping sounds really simple and not doing anything too complex. I barely did any MIDI on this track. It's mostly audio with my drums, my drum sounds and whatnot. Starts with rain and vinyl. I have that down here. There's the Liberman sample. And I chose a warm kick, not a very invasive kick like hip hop normally is. But I knew I wanted lo-fi on the album. It was at the time a new genre to me that I was obsessed with, and I still am, but it was so new to me, like the idea of it, and I wanted to tackle that genre, and Gray Skies is my attempt at that, you know. Here's all the melodic stuff I have going with the guitar. This right here is Gray Skies guitar backwards. I just reversed it, added some sound effects here, panned to the right and left ear. The production on Gray Skies started pretty much right after I had gotten home, and I don't know if I went back to school or whatnot, but I just remember it was like that week that I got back. I started looking for something immediately in hunting, and I built it pretty fast, but all that started right after that trip, my senior year. And I have the piano doing the actual chords with it. The second half of it, it's pretty much carbon copy of the first half. Super simple. And I always feel bad about that kind of stuff, like, am I not doing enough? But sometimes simple is better. And I had to tell myself that for this track. And then it just ends with vinyl and the rain sound, so it's real simple. I did my best to match the lo-fi and how they build their stuff, so that's that. This one was pretty simple. It was building around that guitar, because that guitar and the chord progression for it just went down that realm that I needed to go to in order to put myself in that place. And so I just built around it. I guess trying to figure out the different styles of production that lo-fi music goes into and what they do differently was probably the difficulty, trying to match that genre and try to bring my own taste into it. Was something that was different. So with our story, I wanted to go back to a side of my music that was really important. When I was in middle school, everyone was all about ukulele and all those Filipino artists on YouTube, and everyone knew Lullaby by Latia, and that was just the entire culture. And that genre like blew up and then just kind of like faded out, and I just wanted to go back to that production-wise for the album. So with the lyrics, doo-wop music and really simple like love-themed lyrics was my aim for it, because that's what it was with that genre. It was super simple and cheesy stuff, and that is a huge part of my head and who I am as a person is love and those kinds of things. So I had put myself in like a situation I'm not actually in. It's like from the point of view of someone that's been in a relationship for a second, and just talking about wanting to write our story as a couple and going through the hardships and going through the ugly and just coming out of it with only happiness. Just that like super cheesy like outlook on a relationship. I put myself in that situation even though at that time I wasn't in one. Well, I could tell you where the song started from. It was, I mean, I wanted to go back to that genre, but with the production. See, this was the thing that drove everything in that genre pretty much, and it drove this song. I was trying to play a G minor chord, and I was writing this chord right here. And for some reason I can't understand, I had played it wrong and played that. Way off, not even close, I suck, right? But when I had played it, I was like, that didn't sound bad. Found out it was an E minor 7, and from that point on, I wrote the rest of it. So it was kind of weird. The ukulele recording was recorded with this. I messed up the A string a while back, and then this is my other ukulele that I actually wrote it on. When I came up with the progression, I wrote it on this. It's just ukulele in the beginning, and I made everything enter at the same time as me.
This day today marks the first year, the day my vision cleared out.
It's like a kind of a punchier R&B kind of kick, and the snare is not an actual snare. It's like a bongo / conga layered. Little ambience on it.
Everything I have to give you, know that everything I did to win you. Been through all the stupid.
It's almost as if the song like shouldn't have happened, but it definitely was. Like once I had that, it snowballed into what it became with the concept and everything. The production was, I try to make everything on the album tap into different parts of what I can do musically. This kind of doo-wop, reggae / acoustic feel is unique to just that song on the album, and so the production was focusing on trying to just stay to that genre I'm trying to fit into and trying to be a part of that. I listened to the production with those songs, and you just hear how raw and how straight up the sounds are. There's not a lot of process into it, so I try to keep everything simple when it came to the production. The one difficulty I had was I knew that I wanted a vocalist that could tap into that genre, and as I was writing it and I wrote my verse, I just knew I needed a vocalist, but like where or who. And when I found Jade to do it, she's a classmate of mine at school, super talented, amazing. I'm lucky to have her on the song. That answered the hardest difficulty, finding someone that could drive it home with the genre and drive it home with the goal and concept of the song. And there's no other song with the feature on the album, so I really wanted this one to highlight that artist. Jade had never recorded, as far as I know, before this, and she came in and was just so professional about it, and we got it done pretty fast. In the pre-chorus, I only had a snap and the ukulele because I really wanted the attention to go to just her on that entrance.
Love is love. It's something that we can't get enough. So beautiful.
She's a good singer.
It's your eyes and your smile. Let's write our story.
This is pretty much my only piece in it. It's just
me. All the little things
Octave down
that make us
harmony.
happy. Just you and me.
And
We could watch us grow through the bad things.
And then her verse.
Let's go back to how we first met. How I couldn't stop looking your way.
Again, I try to keep it simple on my verses. I say my thing and then I'm out of the way. I really want the highlight to be the feature artist. I actually didn't hear her writing and ideas for this verse until recording day. And she came in and she showed it to me. And it was crazy. I was like, just so impressed, and I'm glad she put some time into it because it sounds awesome.
To be swept off your feet, to be in a till love and meant to be. Never thought that you now would be. We always hoped that me.
It's not any particular line. It's just the song title and the concept of me and this hypothetical person, like our story, and or the listener and your significant other, like your story, just like that concept. And whenever I bring it up lyrically at the end where I go, let's make the world a special escape, go exploring, write our stories and fade away. Just this like super simple and like kind of cheesy idea, but it's like it drives the whole song, so I think it's really important. I knew that Our Story would be the last track on the album, so I wanted to end the whole thing with just me telling that story lyrically and just keeping it real simple at the end.
Now I know that you're stuck by the hardship.
Every time I worked on this section, I always got emotional knowing that it would be the ending for it, and it was really cool knowing that I was starting to hit the finish line towards the end of that 4th year.
If you ever feel like someone else is better, best let me know your happiness is treasure. But you and me can make the world a special escape. Go explore and write the stories and fade away.
And then just ukulele. And this is the last sound you hear on the album. This one was a good one, and I'm really glad I had Jade come in and take the song to a good level. This was cool. Thank you so much for watching this episode in the making of my debut album, Pandemonium. Stay tuned for the next one.